Hello guys, thank you all for once again joining in. I firstly welcome you all to Amazon Labs. In today's session we are going to learn a lot about the launch process. Let's assume you're getting your first batch and you're getting 300 or 500 or 600 units to Amazon. Now when you have such lesser number of order quantities or units, now you also need to be very much clear on how much budget are you allocating to launch your product on Amazon. This is very important step, right? So if you're getting 300 units, you should know, or you as a business owner should be knowing how much profit are you expecting on this small order, right? And then how much amount can you spend on your PPC, especially for your launch, right? It is not only that, you also be very much particular on what keywords are you going to focus. When you have such a lesser number of order quantities and you have a limited budget, and if you're trying to pick keywords where the search volume is really high or where the number of competing products are really high, it will not work because you will not have enough amount of data. Now we all know that during launch phase the goal is not to profit. The goal is to gather or buy as much data as possible from Amazon. Now if you are running after keywords where the search volume is really high, where there are so many competitors competing for the exact same keyword, in such cases your per click cost will be really high. When your per click cost is really high, you will not have enough data, and by the time you get data you will exhaust all your budget and you may also have to run into losses. So in this video we are going to cover each and every important aspect. These are the things that you need to remember when you are launching your product on Amazon for the first time, right? So let's start. Firstly, you have a very good product and then you have allocated some budget. Now how to calculate that budget, how to allocate this budget, this is something which I'll cover in my next video. But for now, let's assume you have set aside some budget, right? So now you need to use this budget in order to gather as much data as possible from Amazon. So especially when you're launching your product for the first time, right? So there are multiple match types. You can have a broad match, or you can have a phrase match, you can have exact match. Of course you can also have auto campaigns. Especially when you're launching your product, never ever start with an auto campaign. Never do that. If people are saying that run 6 auto campaigns, run 12 auto campaigns, don't do that at the beginning. Never do that. If you really do that, you will be wasting all your money. You have only very limited budget in order at the launch phase, because your order quantity is really low. Why would you give control to Amazon in search for keywords? Don't do that. If you do that, Amazon would randomly distribute your amount for various keywords and you may end up getting one sale on one keyword, which is not at all sufficient for you to take any decision. So especially when you're launching, never ever start with an auto campaign, never ever start with a broad or phrase match campaign. Never do that. What you should actually be doing is just go to Helium 10, just go to Cerebro, just see who are your top competitors, best sellers. Just throw in those ASINs, just extract all the keywords where your competitors are ranked well. Now when your competitors are ranked well on a specific keyword, which means they are making good amount of sale for that particular search term or keyword. That is the only reason why they are ranked on that particular keyword. Now look for the keywords where your competitors are ranked. That is one aspect. Then what you also need to see is you need to check how many competing products are there for each of these keywords. Now what competing products will signify is, for this exact same keyword, how many competitors are competing or how many competitors are bidding, right? Let's say if there is a specific keyword where the number of competing products is like 5,000 or 6,000, it means that there are 5,000 to 6,000 competitors bidding for the exact same keyword. What will happen if such a high number of people are bidding for the exact same keyword? Naturally your per click cost will be really high, because there are so many other players who are willing to pay a little extra to bid for that exact same keyword. So when you do a reverse ASIN search for all your top competitors, you'll get to see so many keywords, and you'll also get to see how many competing products do they have, right? So now what you need to do is At this stage, you need to manually go through all these keywords and go in search for the longer tail version of the keywords, right? Because longer tail version of the keywords, your search volume may not be so high. You will get to see a decent search volume and then a very good opportunity. When I say opportunity, the number of competing products are relatively lower, something like less than 1000, less than 1500, right? So those are the keywords that you need to pick. You should not pick keywords with higher search volume just because it is so much relevant to you. If you do that, with limited budget, you cannot launch a product on Amazon. It is of no use. So let's say you gathered couple of keywords. Now the question is, how many keywords can I use, or at the launch phase, how many keywords can I target? That's a very interesting question, but in order to answer this, it completely depends upon your budget, right? So which we will cover in our next video at length. But at this point in time, let's assume that we chose couple of long tail keywords where the number of competing products are decent or low or moderate, and then you are stepping ahead, you're stepping your game to launch your product on Amazon. Now how do you launch? Launch phase, do not run auto campaigns, do not run broad match campaigns, do not run phrase match campaigns, run only exact match campaigns. Run high bid exact match campaigns. Why you're doing this? At this point in time, as I mentioned, you do not want to give control to Amazon. You know on which keywords your competitors are ranked, so you know from where they are getting sales. So you're going to bid on those keywords and you're going to bid aggressively. Let's say if Amazon is suggesting $1 to $2 as a range, you're going to bid at $4. Okay, so don't worry, Amazon will not charge you $4. Amazon will charge you, whoever is the bidding highest, a little over that, right? So always at launch phase, choose long tail version of the keywords and then bid very, very aggressively. Now why I am saying this is, at launch phase, your goal is not to make money. Your goal is to validate your product. You bought your product, you're trying to add value to the market. At this stage, you're going to testing it, whether this idea or whether this product works or will it suck, right? So you need to validate your product at the launch phase. Secondly, you also need to gather data. So that you know which keywords are doing well for you and eventually have a plan to rank your product, right? So before launching also, it's also very important for you to have reviews. Without reviews, do not launch your product. You need to have a minimum 5 reviews. 5 to 10 reviews is the preferred ones, because of course you can also launch without any reviews, but if there is no social proof and if you're trying to do what you're doing, it will just cost you a little more, right? You could be just think about yourself. If there is no social proof, why would somebody buy your product, right? So it's always good to have at least 5 to 10 reviews before launching your product on Amazon. Now at launch phase, you're just going to run exact match campaigns. You're not going to run broad match or phrase match or automatic campaigns at this phase, only exact match, and you're going to run high bid exact match campaigns. Now what is the outcome from here? Now what is that you need to expect from this launch phase? At this stage, what you need to look for is, just go with 20 click 5 rule game, right? So you're looking for keywords, you are targeting, or you need to make sure your keywords are getting at least 20 clicks or at least 5 sales, any of these metrics, right? So your goal, once you have 20 clicks or once you have more than 5 sales, any of them, you need to evaluate this specific keyword, right? So how do you evaluate? You need to see, or you need to assess the CTR and CVR. You need to see how attractive is your listing or how competitive is your listing. Now your CTR will tell you how attractive is your listing, right? If your listing or if your main image is not good, if it sucks, no one will click your listing, right? So, and likewise your CBR, which is your conversion ratio, will tell you how competitive are you, right? How compelling is your listing. Now people may have, or people would have clicked your listing, they have entered your product detail page, they are having a session on your listing, but they did not buy your product, which means that there is somebody else offering much better value than you. That is why people are not buying your product. So at this stage, once you evaluate this metric, 20 click or 5 sale rule, you need to assess your CTR and CVR. Right now, let's assume you have handful of keywords. So you launched your product, you ran your exact match campaigns. So after a week or 15 days, you'll get to see the data. Now you need to do certain aspects here. Now you may come across three scenarios. You may get to get to view keywords where your CTR is good, your CVR is good, right? And also you got more than 5 sales. So this is scenario 1, right? You have such keywords. Scenario number 2, where you have 20 plus clicks but you did not have any sale. That is scenario number 2. Scenario number 3, you have 20 clicks but you did not have 3 to 5 sales, you just had 1 sale or 2 sales, right? So you need to tackle these 3 scenarios differently. Now let's deal with the first scenario. The first scenario is a situation where you have keywords where you have got more than 5 sales. At this point in time, do not worry about your ACOS, do not worry about all that nonsense. Just focus only on your CTR and CVR. That's the only metric that you need to focus upon at this point in time. Right now, for your first scenario, you are not going to optimize any of your keywords because you know these keywords are doing well, they have got very good CTR and CVR. You need to have a plan for ranking for these keywords. Now what do I mean by ranking? Now firstly, you need to see after 7 to 15 days where are you ranked. Let's say if there is a specific keyword, you need to see organically where are you placed for this specific keyword, right? Now you could be on organic placement number 20 or number 16. Your goal is to pull it up from number 16 to number 1 or number 2, right? So the benefit of doing that is when you are there on position 1 or number 2 more, so you will get more visibility and you will also get so many sales, right? Now how do you pull that listing from organic placement number 16 or 20 up until number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4, right? The best way to do this is by giving away your units, giving away your products, right? So there are so many websites, but it is also a little tricky because Amazon is also very strict. You cannot just approach third party websites which are banned by Amazon. You can make use of private seller groups which can help you rank your products. Make sure that you rank, I mean it's very important that you rank for keywords which are doing well, right? So you can just go to Helium 10, you can see what is the CPR, and accordingly you can work a plan to rank your product. And it is very important that you rank, right, for keywords which are doing well. If you do not rank for a specific keyword, if you are not working on this, you will never make money profitably on Amazon. You will always end up running PPC campaigns, or you will be so much dependent only on PPC, right? So you should also understand that over a period of time, your proportion of organic sales should increase and your proportion of PPC sales should come down. That will only happen when you rank for keywords one step at a time. Do not try to rank for hundreds of keywords, hundreds of high volume keywords. If you do that, I mean, that is very immature way of dealing with things because you are not knowing what you're doing, right? So that is how you need to handle scenario 1. Now what is scenario 2? Scenario 2 is a situation where you got 20 clicks but you did not have any sale. Okay, in this case what you need to do is just pause all those keywords. Do not spend any single dollar or any single rupee. Do not waste your money there. Just pause all your keywords and then look for more keywords, right? And what you can simultaneously do is, since these keywords are not doing well in exact match, you can try to place them in phrase match campaigns. You can see if that works. Okay, so the keywords which have not done well in your exact match, where there are no sales, you can put them in phrase match and see if that works. Okay, so that is how you need to deal with scenario 2, right? Now let's move on to scenario 3, where you got 20 plus clicks but you had only 2 sales or only 1 sale, with 2 sales or with 1 sale, you cannot say anything about listing attractiveness or listing competitiveness. You cannot evaluate or you cannot judge the CTR and CVR. So what you need to do is, at this stage, you can optimize your keywords. Now when I say optimize, you will have to just play around with your bids, making sure that these keywords are getting sufficient amount of impressions, simultaneously making sure that you're not running or spending too much, or at this stage you also need to monitor your ACOS, right? So that is how you deal with your last scenario. All right, now so at optimization stage also, you're not running any of your auto campaigns, you're not running any of the broad match campaigns. You could be testing phrase match campaigns for keywords which have not done well in your launch, as a part of your launch, as a part of your exact match campaigns, right? And then you will have a plan for ranking keywords, right? When I say ranking, get in touch with private groups who can help you rank your products. There are many such groups on Facebook or Google. You search, you'll find them, right? It's very important that you rank them. You should be, for keywords where your CTR and CVR is high, you should be there on 1, 2 or 3 or 4. I mean, these are your top placements, right? And then at ranking stage, once you are done with your ranking, at this phase also you are not running any phrase match campaign. At this phase also you are not running any broad match campaign. At this stage I may switch on my auto campaigns. Okay, now when I switch on my auto campaigns, I'm not going to go with the high bids, right? For auto campaigns I'll always start low, right? So I'll check what is Amazon suggesting. I may go 20% or 15 plus percent under whatever Amazon is suggesting. Let's say if Amazon is suggesting $0.5, right, or 50 cents, I will start with 30 cents, right? So at this stage I will also switch on my auto campaigns, and then eventually see if there are any keywords doing well in auto, and then I'll put them in my broad or phrase match campaigns, and then eventually I'll put them in exact match campaigns, and then eventually if they are working well, then I will also rank for those keywords, right? So this entire cycle or ranking process, it's a chain, it's a step-by-step process. And if you're targeting to, if you on day one you could be doing like 3-4 sales, and if your plan is to do 20s, 30s, 40s, 50, hundreds of sales, this is what you need to do. You need to start with a keyword with a lesser number of competing product, I mean a longer tail keyword. You need to rank for that, and then you need to pick another keyword, you need to rank for that, and then gradually you need to work your way up. Over a period of time you will get to a stage where you're ranked on most number of keywords, and then you're also getting good number of organic sales. At this point in time your goal should be to make sure you're not running out of stock, right? If you're running out of stock, whatever momentum you built so far, that all goes into garbage, right? So that should not happen. So that's where it is also important for you to maintain sufficient levels of inventory and make sure you're never running out of stock. Now during this entire process, launch, optimization and rank, you need to have a specific budget, right? And that budget should be like, let's say if you're getting 300 units, and if you're assuming to sell each unit at $10, right? So you're going to make a revenue of $3,000. Let's assume you've got a profit margin of 20%, which is like $600. Now you have $600 to spend. Now within the $600 you need to launch your product, you need to also rank your product. Now as a part of ranking, you may also have to give away a few units. So whatever costs you're incurring as a part of giveaway should also be a part of this $600 budget. Now if that is the case, you will have only small amount to spend during your launch. Now if that is the case, if you have very small amount, now you will be able to buy very lesser number of clicks, right? Or you will be able to buy only clicks that are cheap, right? Now if you want to focus on clicks that are cheap, you should not run after keywords where there are hundreds of competing products, right? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. That's absolute dumb thing, right? You should not be running behind a keyword just because it has got a very high search volume, and just because it is highly relevant, and ignoring the fact that you have hundreds or thousands of competing products. That is not at all a wiser thing to do, right? So this is by and large the step-by-step process how to launch and rank your product on Amazon. I believe that this video add some form of value to you. If that is the case, I request you to subscribe my channel and also share it with your friends, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If that is the case, also give me a thumbs up and just wait for my next video. I'm anyways going to speak about how to budgetize your launch. All right, so thank you all for your great time, so appreciating it. Have a great day and goodbye.